Right, good evening everyone, hope you're doing well. This video, as you probably guessed by the title and the thumbnail, is about these things, phone cases. I've been using QuadLock for probably 3 years, maybe a little bit longer. I have this case, which is one of their old ones, which I bought for my Samsung S21 phone. So it's not the brand new generation phone, but it's a relatively newish phone. When I swapped to the Super Adventure, I actually ended up taking the QuadLock system off the bike for a couple of reasons. One being I've got a charging port on this bike anyway. So the only times I really used the QuadLock or any kind of mount system was when I needed to use Google Maps or I needed to use whatever. So it was partly attributed to having a short temper on this particular day that I took it off. I was trying to get my QuadLock on the mount and I was back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and it really annoyed me. So when I got home, I was like, sod this thing, I'm taking it off, I don't like it, I'm bored of it. Just took it off, and I haven't used it since. Now, about 6 months ago, I had an email from a lovely lady at Mouse Case. She basically said, do I want to try their new motorcycle mount and case to go with it? And I was like, yeah, of course. At the time, I was looking to replace my QuadLock case, not with another mounted system, but with another case. Massive, massive caveat. I don't know what the new cases are like because I haven't used them. This case is not actually that old. It's about, what, 2 years old because I've upgraded my phone. So I can't speak for the new cases. However, every single person that's got a QuadLock case, it's gone all shiny and it looks mank. Like the matte finish sort of rubs off them and it just looks a bit crap. We'll get on to reasoning, but I had a bit of an up and down on whether I actually like this mount or not. So what I thought I'd do is I'll bring you a bit of a comparison between this system, which is the Mous system, and it's the Mous Intralock system. I will compare that directly to my QuadLock system, my QuadLock case that I've had. Again, I know the new ones are updated, so I'll try and be as fair as I can before someone kicks off in the comments. Yeah, it's not really fair, you can't compare something that's 2 years old to something that's brand new. Shut up. Both new systems are MagSafe compatible, so if you've got a phone, if you've got an iPhone with a MagSafe charger in it, they work on both sides. Obviously this one doesn't because it's an old one. Both of them are wireless charging compatible. There's no problems with that at all. Both are shock resistant to a degree. The Mous one, the Mous one, that was actually my phone. It's literally completely fine. Mous are the company that you see, they're the ones that like launch phones off of a building and stuff, and the phones are completely fine. Oh. We're okay! I've dropped this phone so many times in this case and there's not even a dent on the case. The glass on the back of the phone's completely fine. I've dropped my phone a couple of times in this and my old phone smashed. Mous do a lot of cases for a lot of different phones, as QuadLock do, and they start at about £22 or £23 or something like that. So this is the Aramid carbon fibre version. I don't know if you can see that. Because this is a special type of case, this bump here normally wouldn't be there. Normally that is actually like embedded in the phone case itself, but that's a different one. You have to kind of stick this one on. It's really not hard. The QuadLock case seems thicker. I don't know what it is, but it just seems a lot bulkier in the middle. This just doesn't, because I think it's only that bit that's large, whereas the rest of it's just a normal phone case, which is quite nice. The only negative that's come from that ownership, it hasn't got any scratches on it, it hasn't got any sort of blemishes or problems with it at all. I've never smashed the phone screen or anything. The only tiny thing that's gone wrong with it, see there's a Mous logo at the bottom of this. It was white and some of the colourings come out. So out of the two, obviously again I know I've got one of the new fancier cases from Mous and this is a bog standard case from QuadLock. Out of the two, the Mous is definitely nicer, like definitely nicer. It even came in a really fancy box, which was superficial, I know, but when you're paying quite a lot of money for a mounting system for your phone, makes you feel like it's kind of worth spending the money. It's a very, like I said, very superficial thing, very like unimportant thing because you throw the box away anyway. But to feel and to hold, it's just a nicer experience with the Mous case. The other thing I really like about the Mous case, which is obviously sort of leads into their destruction testing as such, in the corners of the Mous case, you have like slightly raised bevels, meaning that if you drop your phone face down, the screen doesn't come anywhere near. If you go along the edge, you see it's very flat, and then you see there in the corner, it's a raised surface. I mean, it's not going to help if it lands on a stone, but if you drop it face down, nothing happens. I need to stop throwing my phone on the floor because it's going to smash at some point. I always get in and I just throw my phone and my keys and my wallet and everything onto the side. And if my phone lands like that, I just don't have to worry about it, which is really nice. Now, before I get onto these mounts, the reason it took me 8 months to bring you an updated video on this is because of one thing. When I did the ride out in March, I had it on like that. I also had my tank bag on. And for some reason, when I came off, the phone came off, which up to that point, I was really impressed with this. It's definitely a difficult one because still to this day, I have no idea why it came off. It didn't come off when I was throwing the bike around ABR. I've got like a Velcro mount thing that I can swap between bikes, and that's currently on the Monkey, and it didn't come off on the Monkey bike, which has got crap suspension on the front, so it was bottoming out all the time. I do really crap wheelies and jumps all the time, and it hasn't come off. So the only thing I can think is that as my handlebar did that, my phone was plugged in charging, it clouted against the tank bag and pushed down kind of thing, and then the charger ripped it out and it just forced itself off. If I do that, the whole thing's wobbly. You probably can't see because of the GoPro stabilization, but I can't pull that off. So I don't know why it came off, but I had to do the testing before I brought you this video. That's all of that. Let's get on to the mounts. If you want your bike to look this sexy AF, there's a link to MotoProWorks with a discount in the description. Oh, it looks so good. Let's look at it in the sun, actually. Look at her. So, starting with QuadLock. So this is how I last had it set up on the bike. It's got the vibration dampener underneath, and it's got the ball knuckle thing underneath as well. This is the Mous system. I haven't added a single thing to this. This is how it came in the box. You've got the mount that goes around the handlebar. You've got this extension arm which comes with it anyway, and this is a built-in vibration dampener, so you don't have to buy an additional vibration dampener. It's already built in. Everyone will know about QuadLock. You essentially have to push this down, the phone on at a 45-degree angle, and you basically turn it and that clicks it in. Mous is this, you have these two buttons either side, which is essentially putting them on and taking them off, which is what pissed me off with the QuadLock. The Mous, it absolutely defecates all over QuadLock with the mounting system. It is so much easier than QuadLock. QuadLock is not a hard thing to use, but I don't know whether I'm just an incompetent oaf, or I know I am, but I've been using this for years, and I know the new one's got magnets in it to help you align it and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't help you put that on. There you go. Sometimes I get it first time like that. It's not too bad, but it's a faff. And the other people say, well, push down and do it. Like, it's just like, I'm not Houdini. I just want to be able to put my phone on. Now, sometimes it's really, really easy. Sometimes it's a pain in the backside and I cannot be bothered with it, which is why I took it off. Now, the Mous, as I said, you've got these 4 little holes here. They line up with those 4 little holes there. This is magnetic. That's it. It's literally that. It's so easy. How many times do you want me to do this to prove that it's a better system? Even that, I messed it up and it was still quicker than that. And it's not hard. That or that. It's just so much easier. Proper first world problems, I'm well aware of that. But when I'm taking my phone on and off all the time to take photos, or if you use any of the phone like NFC payments, so your Samsung, your Apple Pay, your Google Pay or anything like that, and it was just the couple of milliseconds of getting a bit annoyed every time I put it on. And even people with the new ones that are magnetic and all that sort of stuff, they go, oh yeah, it can be quite annoying. So as I mentioned, they've both got vibration dampeners in them. The QuadLock's is probably slightly firmer. I know this one's more upright and this one's more leant forward, but that's at a different angle, but it is slightly firmer. The one on the mouse is slightly more wiggly. It doesn't really vibrate or jiggle around when you're on the road. So with a mouse case and the motorcycle bundle, which is what I've got on that, the Intralock system, as I mentioned before, this is the current price of it. And as I mentioned, that already includes the extension arm, it already includes the vibration dampener. The case I've got, like I said, is the aramid fiber one, which is more expensive, which is this much. If I were to go and get a case for my Samsung now from QuadLock, with the QuadLock, the vibration dampener, the extension arm, and the case to match what's from Mous, this is how much it cost. Then if you stick on one of QuadLock's really fancy nice cases like I do with Mous, this is how much it cost. So as you can see, it's not actually that much different. Mous also do a shed load of discounts. This week 40% off, or this week 50% off. The one thing I have to say is QuadLock have been in the market for way longer. So QuadLock have had more time to develop more mounts, a wireless charger, an in-car mount and a desktop mount and all that kind of stuff. Mous and Peak and all these other companies are starting to come out with those. So they are a newer company, they are a younger company, so there are things that they haven't got right yet. For example, my dad has got one of the desktop mounts, magnetic one, so it doesn't have any click on it, nothing mechanical, it's just a magnetic one. That will hold my phone, but he's got the Samsung S23 Ultra, which is quite a heavy phone. It doesn't hold it. It's not, the magnets are not strong enough to hold it. Again, with all of this, I'm going off my personal experience, so QuadLock system might be better now, Mous's mounts might be better now, but I've not had any issues with that apart from the crash, basically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly adjust this so it's at the same kind of angle as this, so you can see the vibration as we're on the road. So yes, let me suit up and I will bring you guys back in a second when I'm on the bike. Bike connected. Sorry everyone. Sorry, I'm a child. I know it says low on the screen, but it's basically warm because I've been riding it for the last 2 hours. Right, this is a super bumpy road. Actually, let me put my suspenders in auto mode, give it some kind of a chance. So as you can see, I mean, I know I'm doing 20 miles an hour. This is a super bumpy bit of road, but it's not vibrating at all. You can tell the vibration dampener's working because every time I hit a bit of a bump it does that kind of thing. For sort of a proof of concept, I guess, watch the brake fluid reservoir when I accelerate hard from low revs. That shakes around like God knows what. The phone doesn't. Let me go really slow to give it a proper test. It just doesn't shake anywhere near as much. So it's obviously doing quite a good job. As you all know, QuadLock is basically the same. Right, just stop here quickly. You press the buttons behind and it comes off. And you put it on with gloves in place. Now, if I just quickly take this off. Oh, that's the other thing I quite like, is it's got a little SIM card slot. Really, like, unnecessary for 90% of people, but it would be quite useful if you've got a burner phone or something, if you're a drug dealer. And then, yeah, this is the air shock system. I'm hoping you can see this. I'm kind of just pointing and hoping for the best. Green gel stuff around the edge. So there you go, that's that. So my phone, completely fine. If I now put it in the QuadLock case, again, it's still fine, it still works, but gloves. There you go, got there in the end. So again, like, arguably the QuadLock's not as bouncy, but I mean, it still does the same thing. It doesn't wiggle around like you can't see your screen or anything, so that's fine. So I suppose the question that's probably in the thumbnail title is it better than QuadLock? I can tell you that the mounting system is far easier to use, even with gloves. I can tell you that the case is like the case I have versus the case I had, and the ones that I see in the market. So if I'm sat next to someone at Bike Stop and they've got QuadLock case, it doesn't look as nice as the Mous case. I can tell you that for sure. Again, personal opinion, but you know, carbon fibre, bro. The QuadLock is obviously a more secure system. I mean, I never crashed with the QuadLock on, but I have a stronger feeling that that would stay on, because there's 4 small prongs, but they're actually at a wrong angle. So to get the QuadLock off, it would actually have to snap. It's not going to turn and then come off, is it? Pigeon, that's cool. That's very cool. I haven't tried the Peak Designs case, but it's very, very similar to the Mous case, so I'd assume it's pretty much the same. I like that with the Moto bundle on the Mous case, you get a vibration dampener. You don't have to spend another 40 quid for one. I've had no problems with my phone camera or anything like that since using either of these, so I don't particularly know whether one's better than the other. So yeah, what do you think? Like, what do you use? I assume 90% of you will use QuadLock. With Mous, I have to appreciate that they are trying really, really hard. They've just recently opened up to new investors as well, so they've sort of crowdfunded their next stage of development. So there you go. I'm going to get back on the road. I'm going to put that back in that case because I prefer my Mous case. Sorry. I'm going to put it into Bike Stop just to change these back over. And I will see you in next week's video. And if you want a discount code from Bike Stop, there's one in the description. 10% off over £100, I think it is. So yeah, use that. Okay, bye.